Hey, you guys and gals and people. Welcome to the Don't Stifle Me podcast. My name is Jacob Stee-full, and here on this podcast, I sit down with guests from all across music and performing arts, and we talk about the ups and downs of life, the path of trying to turn a passion into a career, and the delightful and sometimes horrific things that can happen along the way. Now, before we get into it, I do want to mention a few things first. First off, I am a singer and songwriter myself, and if you'd like to check my music out, I do have 3 CDs that are all on iTunes and Spotify and anywhere else that you can find music, and you can check that out and more at jacobstiefel.com. Secondly, if or when you plan on buying something from Amazon.com, you'd be helping the podcast out a ton if you would first jump over to don'tstifleme.com and click the Amazon banner right there on the homepage, and you'll pay. It'll take you to Amazon.com, and then you can just go as you were going to begin with. But you'll pay the same for whatever you get, but they'll send a commission on the back end back to me for sending you there. So no different for you. Helps me out. It's a win-win. Lastly, if you'd like some behind the scenes stuff from here at the podcast, pictures and videos and some MP3s that I post up from time to time, then you can get all that over at patreon.com/DSM podcast. Over there, just you can pledge a small amount of money, as little as $2 or $3, and you'll get access to a feed of things, pictures and posts and things that I put up there that only people who pledge that amount can see. And there's a lot of other levels, beyond $5 or $10 and higher for, anybody that would like to give whatever amount you'd like to give. But once again, if you want to check that out, that is patreon.com/DSM podcast. All right. How's everybody doing out there? How you doing? I hope you're just living as well as you possibly can. I'm back in Nashville for a whole 48 hours or so. This past weekend, I played guitar for my brother Johnny Hayes down in Mobile, Alabama for a couple of shows, and got back yesterday. And then tomorrow I head out on the road with brother Don Gallardo, playing guitar for him for a 5-day jaunt up to, I think we're going to Chicago and Lexington, Kentucky, and some other places. Just moving and grooving, people, moving and grooving. But before I headed out tomorrow, I did want to make sure and get this episode posted and edited and all that, and it's for you beautiful people out there listening. My guests today, that's right, multiple guests. There's 3 of us. It was 2 guests, but then 3, including me. You get it. You know what I mean. Chris Wilson and Sean Doone joined me. Chris is a singer-songwriter who tours with his group, Chris Wilson and the Heresy. And Sean is awesome, for one thing. Well, they're both awesome. But Sean is from Belfast, Ireland, and he's in a group called No Oil Paintings, and he was like the added bonus. Chris and I have been talking about getting together for a while. He's like, hey, I got my buddy here from Belfast that plays the banjo. It's like, hell yeah, bring him on. So anyway, we had a good old time. We played some music for you at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. And anyway, here's my talk with Chris Wilson and Sean Doone.
Pick it up the piano.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Would you like to introduce yourselves to the people listening, since there are 3 of us sitting here?
Yes. Go ahead, Sean.
My name's Sean Doone. I'm from Ireland.
Sean
Doone.
Doone. Spell that.
Doone.
That's pretty much right. Yeah, Doone. Yeah. Okay. Sean Doone from Ireland?
Yeah.
What part of Ireland?
Belfast.
Okay, very cool. And?
Chris Wilson from Indianapolis.
Slightly less exciting.
Yeah. A lot less.
Not you personally, but Indianapolis in itself.
Yeah, I like Indy.
Maybe I just pissed some people off in Indy. I don't know. Nothing against Indianapolis, but it's not Belfast.
No, let's unpack that. What's your deal with Indy? Who hurt you in Indy?
I used to play the tin roof in Indy. Does it have something to do with it, maybe? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It answered every question I had.
We've uncovered it. Mm-hmm. It's like therapy all over again. I've actually never been to therapy. Maybe I should.
I've been twice. It's exciting.
We're going deep.
Oh, that's good.
We're going deep right off the bat. I'm not even on the couch here. You two are on the couch.
I'm a fan of therapy as well.
Chris and Sean, what brings you to Nashville?
Well, probably a couple things. So Sean had messaged me. I don't know, when did you book your trip originally?
6 months ago.
So we'd always talked about even, well, I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit more too, but how we met. But I was kind of explaining to him I-65. And so he was flying into Chicago. And I'm like, you can literally take the same interstate from Chicago through Indianapolis, straight through to, down to Nashville. And so I figured that would be a good, in a 18-day trip, be a good
all the way to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. All the way down. We didn't make it that far this time, but so Sean plays music, lover of music, and a lot of stuff that would have come out of Nashville. So so we spent the first kind of the plan was spend the first weekend in Chicago, spend some time in Indianapolis, and then trying to figure out how to make a Nashville trip work. Around that same time, our mutually good friend Don Gallardo had hit me up and threw a couple shows my way. So played a few days ago, and then so I'm like, okay, about 6 days in Nashville. These shows were separated, and going, this would make a nice little reason for us to get down there and spend some time in Nashville. Yeah. And so yeah, it's both work and getting a chance to travel a little bit with Sean and show him around.
So for the lazy people that haven't read the description or didn't want to read any words, could you tell them what you do? What do you do, Chris?
So I play music as my kind of sole professional thing that I do, but I'm also a father of 2 young kids.
Fantastic kids.
So yes, I like them very much. So yeah, my wife works a more traditional day job, and so I get to spend a lot of my daytime with the kids, and it also is pretty conducive with this musical thing of playing out in evenings and playing out in the weekends and a little bit of weekend travel and things like that.
Living the dream.
I am.
Yeah. Sean, what do you do?
Well, I have a day job in a bank, but we'll not talk about that.
That's interesting. We can talk about finance.
That's on his list of things.
I'm just dying to get that out. But I'm a banjo player in a band called No Oil Paintings.
No oil paintings?
You enunciated that really well.
Yeah. I really thought you said no oil panties for a second. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds awesome.
Let's not have any follow-up questions.
Yeah, so we're like a folk band, sort of, with drum kit and electric guitar. So
yeah,
we call it alt folk. It's the closest thing that we could get it down to. It's probably Americana.
When in doubt, just make up some words and just say them to people. And if they don't understand, you'll be like, you just don't get it, man.
Post-apocalyptic folkcore.
There you go.
Was the original. It wouldn't work.
Are the other guys over here too? Or
No, they're back home now. Okay. They couldn't afford it.
I understand. They don't have the badass bank job like you. Yeah.
Making that bank money.
What do you do at the bank?
Take phone calls.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's depressing. But yeah, pretty much over here to try and get contacts so that next year hopefully we can all come over and play some gigs.
Do a tour.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Very cool. How long have you been playing banjo?
12 years.
12 years. How old are you?
24. So half my life.
Very cool.
But I don't play like somebody who is playing half their life. I'm not very confident.
So you're better. You're better than the people that...
Let's go with that.
Did you bring your banjo with you?
No, I got to lend one off a guy. Chris knows, Jeff Kelly. But I'm going to buy one.
Yeah.
While I'm here.
If there was only a really cheap, shitty banjo in the corner of the room that you could play. Oh, wait a minute. We'll get you on that later.
Yeah.
I want to see your face when you try to play that banjo, that fantastic rogue.
Especially compared to the ones that he's been playing down here. So he's may be in the market for a banjo, and he's been playing some super high-end banjos that are now making him not want to go home to his banjo.
Yeah, just what do you get a hold of that rogue over there? Don't put it down. Chris, how long you been writing and playing and doing the thing?
I don't even remember. a long time. Yeah, I grew up.
Guitar, first instrument?
Yeah. First and only, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, fourth grade, I think, was the first guitar that I got, for Christmas. And so been playing since then. Again, when Sean's self-deprecating, I'm just okay. I get by. I'm a singer-songwriter that the guitar was only ever something for me to write songs with. I was never that kid that locked himself into a room and, to learn that lick or to learn that part. And it was just something to kind of strum and be able to write with. And so, but even then it took a number of years for me to even get the confidence to sing, which I think became the thing that people were more interested in, certainly, than the guitar playing.
Me included.
Yeah, still. So, yeah, I mean, that wasn't until end of high school when the first time I probably really sang in front of people where they're like, oh, like that's better than average.
You don't suck at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you don't, I can testify.
Thank you.
We played a few shows together. When was that? The spring?
Yeah, that's right.
Sometime in the spring. Yes, fantastic. I was pleasantly surprised.
Thanks. From an Indianapolis boy.
I didn't say that.
Your expectations are so low.
Man, I'm coming off like an asshole this morning. That's not what I meant. I just meant in general.
Nah, let's keep it going. It's fun.
No more shows for Jacob in Indianapolis. Did you ever have you had other jobs, like day jobs and such?
Sure.
Yeah. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I don't know that I enjoyed any of them, being honest. But I mean, I worked in a warehouse, loading semi-trailers, for an outdoors company, and and as you get down here, I mean, the heat of the summer doing all that, then you flash to the dead of the winter, and it's equally as horrible. And so yeah, I mean, that was rough, but it was fine. Honestly, I hated Starbucks. I worked at Starbucks for a while, and you just go home smelling. You worked at a coffee shop, going home smelling like stale coffee. Like it's a different smell than like the fresh brewed, smell.
Okay, I get that.
And I just felt like, and I had to wear khakis, and which is just.
Aren't you currently wearing khakis?
Stop! These aren't. No. These are super cool denim khakis. It's part of my Levi's wardrobe.
It only owns Levi's.
I went somewhere the other day and I realized I had on Levi's boots, Levi jeans, a like long sleeve Levi thermal shirt, and so this was during the winter because I also have my Levi's jacket.
Okay, there you go,
head to toe. I was like,
I don't know.
Motherfuckers need to give me some money.
If I was gonna say, if I ever had a wardrobe endorsement deal, that's the one that.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Too expensive for me.
Well, over there, it's a lot more expensive.
I didn't thought about that, but it's an import over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those imported Levi jeans, baby. Let me get those. Did you go to college or anything, Chris?
A little bit.
Tasted it?
I dipped my toe in. No, I took some time off after high school, went back a little bit. I think I was convinced that, you couldn't do anything in life without that, college degree. And
so they told us.
Yeah. And still at age 36, I've never been asked for anything I've ever done for a degree, if I have a degree. So, yeah, never finished anywhere. But yeah,
when did you decide? I mean, you said it was around the end of high school when you first sang out and realized you were pretty good at it. When did you decide, like, all right, I'm gonna do this? What?
Well, so that story is kind of specific and somewhat moderately interesting. So it was senior spring break of high school.
Yeah.
John's heard about senior spring breaks, right? Is that a thing you're aware of? Okay, cool.
Family Guy and things like that. Sure. Only reference.
It's a reference point for all things.
It's America's Family Guy.
You don't have spring breaks over there?
No. Summer holidays? Is that the same?
It's a different season, yeah. So we did what every Hoosier from Indiana does, is you hop in a car and you go down to Florida for the week. And
right.
So senior year meant you get to go with a bunch of friends instead of going with the parents, and so spent the week down there. It's actually coincidentally also the week that I really kind of met my now wife. Was on that same trip, but so we'd sit out. Thank you. So we were sitting out by the pool, and a friend had brought a guitar, or his little brother brought a guitar or something, and it eventually just kind of got passed to me, and I was like, oh, okay. And they wanted me to do a song, and do you know how to play guitar? And I was like, yeah, I can play a little bit. And they're like, you can play a song. The only song that I think I knew at that time was Trains Meet Virginia.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a good solid song.
So I did the song, and I found out that halfway through the song, people started kind of gathering and listening, and then people would be like, "Do it again." I think I probably played that song a dozen times in the course of my week there.
Yeah.
Notes to self immediately were like, why the hell have I not done this before? People are actually, girls are paying attention to me.
I gotta learn more songs now.
I've made a huge mistake. I waited till almost graduation I'm like, okay, so when I do this, people are actually, so that, I think you just don't know, if you're any good at something until you do have some kind of peer community.
Some kind of feedback. Yeah, for sure.
So that was kind of my first taste of that, and probably what, started me on the course of going, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. Maybe this is something I could pursue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that. It was, starting to hit. I wasn't aware of a lot of open mics growing up. I don't know how long the open mic thing, especially in Indianapolis, has been around, but it seemed to kind of be in the upswing around that time. And we used to go to, do you remember Borders bookstores? Kind of like Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
There was one there in town, and they had an open mic, on a certain night of the week. And so just started meeting other people that were hitting this open mic as well, other peers. And so that's just kind of how, I'm sure I was all covers at that point, and then started into, trying to try my hand at actually writing something. And we were laughing yesterday because a very dear and old friend of mine, Justin Hamill, who works for Lightning 100 and Acme Radio, we graduated from the same high school together.
Oh, cool.
And so we've basically gone 17 years without seeing each other and staying in touch. And he
staying in touch, but just not seeing each other, or
not really even staying in touch. I mean, there was years ago I'd come through Nashville with a different band, and I think maybe we'd grab a drink or something just very quickly, but really we just haven't. So we've just reconnected over the last couple months, really. And he had me over for dinner a couple nights ago, and walks in his room, comes out, pulls out the CD. It says Chris Wilson Demo 1 on it, and it literally is high school era. I had this Tascam 4-track in my bedroom, and I had written this song, and it literally is probably one of my first songs I ever wrote, that I wrote for my girlfriend at the time, now wife. It's not a good song. And he pulled it. I'm just like, get rid of that, destroy that now. I do not. I was like, if you bring that to my interview on the radio, I would be so angry.
Somebody the other day said something about the first song I ever wrote. And I said I think it was about a high school girlfriend or something, and they were like, "Oh, you should go back and re-record that." I'm like, "No,
yeah."
Even if I could remember what it was, I'm sure it was terrible. No way.
I think my first song was about suicide.
Suicide?
Not about me killing myself, but
just in general. Just the topic in general.
The concept, yeah.
Oh man, that's wow! I tapped that microphone. It just talked right back to me. Suicide. Let's put you on the couch over there. How long have the no oil panties been played? I'm just kidding. It's not panties, people. It's paintings, right? Is it plural or singular?
Plural. Most people think it's singular.
No oil paintings.
Yeah,
what do you got against oil paintings?
So
I like oil. Oil on canvas is good shit.
So back home, if you were talking about someone's looks in a bad way, they would say you're no oil painting yourself.
Oh.
So it just means ugly.
That is very interesting. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to use that one.
Just, yeah.
So far, that's the only thing on my page of notes here. Usually I have a page full of like things I want to talk about, this and that, and time periods. Oh, I saw this video. I did this. No, not for you guys. I figure we're all cool enough. And we look good enough that
You'll get by.
You're no oil painting
yourself.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear how that goes when you use it.
I can't wait to say somebody and they just look at me like, what? So, how long have y'all been playing?
Roughly about 5 or 6 years. So I have a twin brother who plays bass, and a friend, Chris Kelly.
Identical twins? Was he
he's tall, thin, and tan. That's where the name came from. 5 or 6 years. I'd say about 3 or 4 now, where we've got a solid 4-piece down. We were a 3-piece, then a 4-piece, then a 6-piece, then a 5-piece.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're down to 4.
Figured it out,
yeah. So I think this is the best lineup that we've had. No offense to everybody that was in the band previously. Yeah. But yeah, we've been going for roughly that length of time. But yeah, about 6 years.
Cool. Like mostly like original shows now?
Yeah. We started out as a bluegrass band.
Okay.
So just doing covers of Earl Scruggs and Hank Williams and things like that. But then we started writing our own stuff, and then we couldn't figure out if they were coming to see us for the originals, so we just cut all covers.
Yeah.
We do one Townes Van Zandt song, but it's almost to the stage where we think it's ours. Because
I've always, my opinion on that, as far as covers and originals, a lot of people are like, some people are all covers and just want to make money, and then some people are like, no, fuck playing covers, you got to play just your original music. I'm not either of those. Like, I'm all about doing original show. If you're playing like 45 minutes or an hour, throw a couple of covers in there that people know and get them, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's it, because we got a fan base. I'm using air quotes, by the way, for people who can't see. From covers. So when we started leaving less and less covers in the set, they hopefully still enjoyed it, But yeah, I don't know. I'm not against covers either if they're done tastefully, if they're done... Yeah. We just won't do Wagon Wheel or Galway.
The Beatles and Rolling Stones did cover songs.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Emmylou Harris didn't do a single original song on Sunday night. She just done Wayfaring Stranger and Guitar Town. Then she's at that level, she can do what she wants.
Emmylou Harris, yeah.
I'm not on the same level as Emmylou yet.
Is there... not yet. I like that. Positivity, Mr. Suicide song. What's the music scene like? First off, I don't want to sound like an ignorant yank over here.
But here we go.
Is it Belfast or Belfast?
Belfast.
Belfast.
That's the way I would say it.
Okay. So I can put the emphasis on the last syllable. Belfast.
You can if you want. I won't get
That's
angry.
the way I would say Belfast.
Yeah.
Belfast. Okay. I just wanted to be saying it the wrong way the whole time, and you're just sitting there in your head thinking, this guy's a moron. What's the music scene like in Belfast?
Well, compared to here, it's a world apart.
Yeah.
There isn't much of an infrastructure. There's the music and the bands. So there's, I think somebody said, I don't know if it was yourself or another American, I was going to call you a tourist, but they said they'd never seen somewhere so small that had such a big concentration of talented people. So there's a lot of talent, but not a lot of venues. There's some people doing well from Belfast. My eyes are going really weird.
Is it mostly like bars and clubs?
Yeah. There's sort of like 3 big venues, but a lot of people don't come to Belfast either, like big names. They'll come to Dublin because they've got the bigger arenas. But yeah, with the clubs, there's a few good venues. There's some killer places to play. Some of them are just bars with a PA. So there's, the PA isn't great.
It's already better than some of the places that I've played. At least they have a PA.
No, it's great. As I say, it's just when you come to somewhere like Nashville, and again, I'm sure Nashville's different than everywhere else in America even, but it just seems there's a wealth of places to play. So almost so that you could play 30 gigs in a month and nobody would still care.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny when I go to other cities, just almost anywhere else, and you hear a live band, I'm like, not everywhere, not every live band in other cities, but you get spoiled being in Nashville all the time.
Yeah,
like
sure.
the mediocre bands here
Right.
would blow anybody else out of the water.
The guys
like
busking down on Broadway
Right.
are going to blow most people out of the water.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, yeah.
And so you go somewhere else and somebody's like, "You hear this band? They're really good." And I go here, I'm like, "It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not great." I don't know. I guess
That's interesting.
So what attracts you when you walk in? I mean, is it the sound of that, or is it the songs? Is it? I mean,
I think being able to personally playing together, multiple musicians playing together properly is attracts me, if that makes any sense. Like not just four guys on stage playing their instruments and each playing the song, but like
good arrangements.
well, yeah, and like the bass player and the drummer being tight, and
chemistry.
the chemistry and the ins and outs of because I had a revelation. Is that the right word? Revelation? Revelation.
Relevation.
Yeah. Whatever. Epiphany. There you go. That's a word. That's a word that I know. I took some mushrooms one night and I was hanging out in Mobile, Alabama.
Turning into a Todd Snyder story.
It was a good time. Me and some friends, we were watching a Black Crowes set from a festival. It was like a full 45-minute or so full set. And I was just melted into the chair watching, and came to this thought that I'd never had, that the whole band as a whole were an instrument in themselves. And I'm guessing mostly Chris Robinson or whoever was in charge of the set list and the arrangement of the songs, it was like they were playing the instrument of the band. And so, I don't know. It made a lot more sense at the time.
Jacob and his mushroom revelations.
It'd be a great coffee table book. But like the way the ebb and the flow of the dynamics and the, coming out of this solo and then up and then down and then after this song going into this song. Like, so when people kind of grasp that and they're not just up there playing Sweet Home Alabama, the bass player's in his own world and the guitar player's in his own world. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, I get you.
But also the words and quality of the actual song itself.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? What attracts you when you hear somebody?
I think songs and vocals are the things that catch my ear when when you're just somewhat to what you said, when you're around a lot of music and you hear a lot of things. Even anymore, like sometimes even just good bands, but if they don't have good songs, I just get bored really quickly. We were talking about it just even since we've been here, seeing, at the top, the highest level, some of the greatest instrumentalists in the world. And I, can appreciate it for maybe about 20 minutes, I sit and I just watch somebody, just going off on a guitar and just going like, wow. Yeah. But about 20 minutes, like, I agree. If there's nothing else going on to really keep me interested. So yeah, I mean, when I listen to a mix, when I listen to a new record, vocal, I mean, it's what I do. I mean, it's what I'm listening for. It's the thing I'm most critical about in my own recordings is the vocal. We'll do a first take of something and the bass player will be like, "What'd you think about that part I played?" I'm like, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't listening to what she played at all.
Yeah.
I'm only thinking about myself here.
Yeah. If I don't notice it, it's probably good.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that and just a good song. And I can probably give, some acts that I really don't have any, much even respect for. If there's a good tune, I can still go, man, like, I'm hardwired to not like this genre or this thing. Right. But
you should have seen it in color.
Yeah. But a good song's a good song.
I bet the good songs. Yeah. I mean, you just got to give them credit.
Yeah. I definitely know what you mean. Somebody will be like, "You got to check this band out. They're great." And I'll listen to a recording or see a show. I'm like, yeah, they are really good. But you hear one song, you're like, yeah. Yeah. You know the song, you're like, eh. I mean, they're talent-wise, they're great.
Right. Yeah. You're like, the mix is great. The band sounds tight.
But
I have no idea what the song's about.
Yeah.
But
you can't get into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I care less about vocals in terms of Like Shane MacGowan, are you aware of Shane MacGowan? The Pogues, Fairy Tale of New York. No, okay.
No.
Well, he's a singer from Ireland, and he's just an alcoholic.
Okay.
But he's one of the best songwriters in the world. But he cannot sing. Like, it's not that he's in key, but like tone, it just sounds like he's screaming at people.
It's not pleasant.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. But again,
Yeah.
I can get over that for the sake of the song.
Right. Yeah.
Townes Van Zant's not a great songwriter or singer.
Yeah.
John Prine's not a great singer.
Yeah.
But they've got the songs. So yeah, I'm very cynical. So if I get a new album, I'll listen to like 30 seconds of the first track. And if it doesn't grab me, I go to like track 6.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on the hunt for new music
Right.
on Spotify or something, and I just give it like 45 seconds.
Have you ever tried to quantify what it is that grabs you when it does? Like,
I don't think
elements
I
are?
can quantify it. There's a guy, Jeffrey Martin. I don't know where he's from, but like what he's doing is not different whatsoever. But within the first 30 seconds of that first song, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Even though it was just guitar and fiddle or something. I don't know what it was that grabbed me, but then I listened to his other stuff, and he's a fantastic songwriter. But yeah, I don't know. I like Biggie Smalls as well, and like I don't know. It's just songs probably more than anything.
I think also, as far as live performance, harmony to me is even bigger. Like somebody said this one time, and it's so true. You can have decent musicians and great harmony and have a great band.
Yeah.
But you can't have like really good musicians and shitty harmony, and it's still going to sound bad.
Yeah.
That was a really good point.
Yeah.
Sweating over here. When's the fall going to be here?
I'm going back to fall in a few days.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
yeah, we've been talking about harmony quite a bit on this trip
Do you mean like actual harmonies?
between you and I. Yes, like actual harmonies.
So vocal harmonies, or do
Yes.
you mean harmony between the band? Like,
No, like vocal harmonies.
like we all live in harmony.
I mean, that's good too.
Yeah, it seems important.
Yeah.
No, vocal harmonies.
Yeah. Well, the band that I'm in, we do 4-part male.
Ooh.
There's one woman, but she just does male harmony. No, I'm joking. It's 4-part harmonies, yeah. And again, I think that's something that would set us apart from a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Back home, anyway.
Do y'all have any recordings? Have you
Yeah,
released
we have
stuff?
stuff on Spotify and Bandcamp and Apple Music and Play and
All the things.
I would give you a CD, but I lost my bag last night in the 5 spot.
Oh no!
But it's there, so I just
Oh,
gotta
it's
pick
still
it.
yeah. You
it's
just gotta go get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's stuff on Spotify. We have a new single coming out in the next month or 2, and we just recorded another single coming out after that. So we just need to get a video
What's
done.
What's the new one? The first one that's coming out. What's it called?
It's called Something Like the Truth.
Something Like the Truth. I like that.
Yeah, so
I
it's
used to
about-
call my band The Truth. I used to be Jacob Stiefel and The Truth.
Yeah.
Something like that. No. Did that land?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I was with you.
It was in there somewhere. I was in the realm of something.
Yeah. The components are there for the joke.
Yeah. Anybody heard any good jokes lately?
Chris Wilson's new EP.
Wow.
Oh, yikes.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad we did this.
He's glad that he invited you along.
To America.
They love me here.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no Irish jokes.
Irish jokes. Most of them are very stereotypical and offensive to Irish people.
Feels a little weird doing them here.
Me telling them
Sure,
jokes.
yeah.
The only joke I can think of right now is about there was a plane crash at a fairground, and it crashed into the, what do you call it? Ferris wheel?
Ferris wheel? Yeah. Those exist. Yeah.
You guys have those over here?
You're off to a good start.
Well, it's the Joker's round, but apparently most people died, but the pilot's coming around.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Why do blind people hate skydiving?
Why?
Well, they actually don't mind it that much, but the dogs fucking go crazy. Oh, I forgot who told me that. Somebody told me that sometime in the last week or two. I got to get some new jokes. I've been telling the same jokes for.
Every podcast.
I also heard another one that I'll have to tell you all after we get done recording this conversation. Mom would not enjoy that joke.
Okay.
If I was drunk enough, I'd just say it anyway. But I'm drinking coffee right now, not whiskey.
We're proud of you.
Yeah, well, it is still before noon.
It's true.
In 10 minutes it'll be noon, then we're gonna get it boozed up.
There's a great song called "Drunk by Noon"
Drunk by Noon?
by the Handsome Family.
The Handsome Family.
Yeah, they're not handsome.
They're not? Well, they're liars.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a great song.
What's coming up with the Chris Wilson
And the Heresy. Nice research.
and the Lunatics? And, yeah.
The Hearsay.
No, I was trying to say something ridiculous and just nothing came to mind.
What is coming up? So we're getting ready to do, I don't know, when does this thing air?
What is this? This is September the 19th. This will probably come out the end of September or 1st of October, somewhere around there.
Okay. So later this fall, we're going to be playing up in Founders Brewery. You familiar with Founders beer?
Sounds familiar.
It's actually a wonderful brewery. And
In Indy?
No, it's actually been Michigan.
Oh.
And I think Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're heading up there. So we're starting to get more and more out. We've been playing Chicago a lot more. And you've done the Haymarket, right? As well. So been getting up there. And yeah, getting down here more and more. I'm trying to think what else is really there's a show we're doing with the Steel Wheels, who've become some good friends of ours that are playing back in Indianapolis in January. So this is new territory for me, like planning this far in advance.
Right. Yeah.
Usually my 6-year-old son will wake up in the morning and be like, especially in the summer, and be like, all right, Dad, what's the plan for today? And I'm like, I've never had a plan in my life. This is why school is good for him, because he's got a little bit of structure. So I'm trying to be professional, and I'm trying to think out a bit further.
Where do you get the best, I don't know, traction, or where do you have the best market for you? Is it Andy? Would that be your? Where you can get people to come out?
So I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's more of a type of venue than it is necessarily city specific in my experience. So the things that we've done up in Chicago, I mean, I'm sure especially singer-songwriter would say this, a good listening room is just, it's all the makings for just, I mean, it's what you live for. And, so again, we've done those in, Chicago, and, about to play the Bluebird tonight. Not that it matters, but that'd be a similar.
It's pretty awesome.
Yes, I'm very excited about it.
You shouldn't be afraid to talk about it, Chris.
Well, I don't know why the timeline is throwing me off. When you're listening to this, don't come tonight to see me. And then even back over in Belfast, that there were some spots. There was a spot in Dublin that called the Ruby Sessions that they just do an amazing. It's right in the city center of Dublin, and they just did this killer, listening room show that it's all for charity. And, I mean, it's so unassuming.
So how many times have you been over there?
Well, I lived there for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
That's how
we stumbled upon something new here. So that's how y'all met?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So,
we've been dating ever since.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's a relationship.
What got you over there?
My wife, I mean, end of the day, we wanted to move over there. It was just something we wanted to do. So, my wife got her master's degree over there. So that was the visa that allowed us to live there. And
nice.
So, we were there for about 3 years. And then we just moved back about 1.5 years ago. And then I've been back 3 times in that 1.5 years. So, I was just over, 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did you play a lot over there?
Played a couple times. So came over there. It was a great festival up near the North Coast called the Stendhal Festival that had me, and I got to do kind of like a solo acoustic performance there. No Oil Paintings have played there how many years now?
5 years in a row, but
Yeah.
8 times in total in terms of
Yeah.
performances. It's
Yeah.
the best festival in Ireland
Nice.
for me, I think.
Yeah, they do a great job.
The Wailers played it this year, Bob Marley's band,
Ah,
which is strange. It was killer to see
that's
them
cool.
in a field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I did our band just released an EP like 1st of August, and so did kind of an local album release thing there in Belfast at kind of our local bar that Sean and I would drink at and hang out. So yeah, I mean that's
How'd y'all meet?
that's my circuit.
An open mic, actually, wasn't it?
It was. Why don't you tell the story?
I hate open mic nights. But there was one good one in a bar called the Sunflower.
Yeah.
Sunflower, sorry. And he was crying in the corner, like
Just rocking.
just rocking back and forth. So I sort of took him under my wing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll show you this place called Madden's. And we've been drunk a lot.
That was very sweet of you, Sean.
Yeah. He still hasn't thanked me.
I think I'm doing a pretty good job. 18
What?
days of touring around America together. Whatever.
Yeah. America.
You're on my side.
That's the thanks you get.
He turns. I knew how to trigger him.
But yeah, when we played some, we sort of, the band No Oil Paintings, for maybe 1 or 2 shows would have been your band, just like loosely.
Oh yeah, nice.
Just for a bit of fun. But banjo, he doesn't like banjo, so it didn't last too long.
Well, some people don't like banjos.
Yeah,
You shouldn't take it personal.
I do.
Well,
And it's this guy.
I got an important question. What is we'll start with you, Sean. What is the worst gig you've ever played?
Oh,
As far as like band show somewhere at a venue and worst experience ever.
right. It wasn't. We've done plenty of bad shows. Not ourselves playing, but it's the circumstances. But me and my brother done a 2-piece gig again. Don't know how much I should be talking about this, but I'll do it anyway.
That's the best stuff right there.
Yeah. So the guy, I'm not going to name names, but the guy booked us to do this gig. He wanted the full band, couldn't get the full band because people were busy. So me and James, my twin brother, said we'll do it. So we showed up. There was nobody at this thing. It was an outdoor event. It was expensive. So we go on stage and we're doing originals. Like we've written songs together or separately that didn't work for the band. So we played those. And halfway through, the guy who's running the festival comes on stage in the middle of a song and says, "Can you not play something faster?"
In the middle of your set?
In the middle of the set,
middle of a song.
middle of a song,
Wow.
while we're singing and playing on the stage in front of, I was going to say everybody, there was 7 people maybe. So it's a good thing we weren't drinking, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because it could have got ugly. But so we got off, and the guy didn't see what was wrong with this. He didn't see what the problem was. So we screamed at him a little, and
That's why we screamed at him a little.
and just explained why you shouldn't do that. He had said that he had hoped that we could bring some people in off the streets. But I was like, that's not our job. We're here to play to the 7 people that are here.
Yeah.
It's your job to get people in off the streets. So there's a few dodgy promoters. But yeah, and he was going to invoice us and get the money, so we made sure we got paid there and then. And he tried to underpay us as well.
Of course.
So we got the full money and just left the place and we'll never work with him again.
What about you, Chris?
So my context is a little bit different in that I grew up basically where I kind of learned to play music was in the church, right? So playing in like church bands and things like
What
that.
kind of church did you grow up in?
Just a Christian non-denominational church. And so I grew up at that time, it was a lot of older guys that were in the band. And I think, when I first started, it was just, I was the only actual like student that was a part of it, kid that was a part of it. And, I used to get up there and we'd sound check and get everything, fixed. And I didn't realize till probably 6 months to a year into doing this, that every time it was actually time to get going and start, somebody would nod at the sound guy and it was time to turn Chris's volume all the way down in the house. So that I could,
What?
Yeah. which was an asshole move, but at the same time is where I credit like learning how to play as a part of an ensemble versus like just needing, like, you know, the first time you play, you're just like, I need more of me, more. You just want to keep turning so you can just hear yourself and you're just playing. And it's like you're almost got 5 people trying to lead, you know, situation. And it like, it taught me.
So is it because you
like,
were off or just?
Oh, I'm sure I was horrible. Yeah. I mean, I'm not great now. Like then I mean, I guarantee. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's a bit of the context to set up. So, you know, a number of years later, I don't know whose idea this was, but it was the worst idea that I've ever heard in my life. So a church that I was a part of decided to do like a musical kind of like a bit of a service for a high school football team. Okay. I know it still doesn't make sense. Don't try too hard. It didn't make sense then. Doesn't make sense now.
Okay.
So they asked me to come and do the music for this football team. So I don't realize that we go out, and it was, you know, anybody in Indianapolis will know, like Ben Davis High School, which is like this powerhouse of football, at least in the state. If not, they've done really well in the country. And so I'm this guy who, number one, was bullied by jocks probably my entire life. So I'm going to be surrounded by a bunch of, like, you know, athletes. And these are the people that, you know, intimidate me. So I get up there and I realize we're waiting around for a long time. And it's because it dawns on me that they're going to be coming in straight after practice. So the whole team has been out practicing, and then they're going to come in after practice and then have to sit through the service. This is not a Christian high school. So, right? So like, they're just going to come in and they're going to be told that, like, you have to now sit through
a church
service. And so it's just, these pieces are coming to me and realizing, like, oh, this is not going to go well. Like, this is all the makings of being a complete train wreck.
Yeah. So
they're taking longer and longer, and it's because apparently they practiced poorly, and so the coach was making them run sprints after practice. Yeah. So now they're angry, right? And exhausted and all that, and now they're gonna have to sit through this church service. So,
hey Jesus, where were you an hour ago when I was dying on the practice field?
So they finally, you know, all their sweaty selves come finally loading into this room, you know, and they're just like, you know, most of them all trying to be in the back, you know, and just get away from it as much as possible.
Right.
I'm up there and I've got to kick the thing off. And I kid you not, I was about 3 strums in, D string just blows.
Oh no.
Like, and I just got to push through this thing with this, like, horribly out of tune guitar in this situation. I mean, I will say it set the bar so low for what worst case scenario could be that, like, I go back to that moment in my mind of going, well, it's not that bad. Like, you know, every loud bar, every empty bar, every, you know, whatever those things are, every horrible PA, I'm like, it's not that, you know? And so it does. It's nice to have a reference point for what the worst can be, to be able to kind of go, yeah, like, if I can get through that, I can get through anything.
Let me tell you about my reference point. Houston, Texas. This is, I guess it's 2014. And I'm doing a band run out to Austin and around Texas and then back. And it's the week, the 2 or 3 weeks around South by Southwest in Austin. Mm-hmm. So this is the weekend after the festival. And there's this place in Houston that I found on a website, Indie on the Move. I don't know if y'all have heard of that. It's a website, and they've got a big venue list and sends their email addresses on there and stuff. So I emailed this place. I'm just looking for anywhere between here and Austin to book some shows. Mm-hmm. So this place in Houston says they're hosting any bands that are playing South by can stop by there on the weekend afterward, and they'll let you come in and play for split the door. Yeah. You know, give you some food or whatever. So I was like, cool, sounds great. It's called Super Happy Funland. Sounds great. In theory.
I'm suspect immediately.
Yeah, right?
That's the actual name of the establishment.
Name, the Super Happy Funland. Okay. Like so we get there in the afternoon sometime. Nobody else is there. And it's in the middle of this, like, factory district in Houston, like oil factories and just who knows what else. And it's this old warehouse looking place. And there's like one person there and it's this old hippie that's done way too many drugs, and they were cooking some vegan chili, and like they had that available for anybody that wanted some. I did not take part. Anyway, so we get on to the evening, and granted, I have family all over Texas, and I have aunts and uncles and cousins, especially around Houston, who are excited to come see the band play. Mm-hmm. So they're going to come, and they each paid like $5 or $10 to get in. I think there was like 10 or 11 of them, and there were 3 acts playing, and I think there were, not counting any of the acts, I think there were like 17 people, 16 or 17 people there. So 2/3 or more of my family. Sure. Yeah. And in this place, when you walk in the front door, you're in one room, and in this room, scattered about, are collections of old furniture, and on that furniture, stacks of Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy dolls. Yes.
Creepy.
Chris's face right now is exactly what my face was when I walked in. Just in like little pockets throughout the room, furniture, and then piles of Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. That's in that room. And then you walk next into the room next door where they had old theater seating that was pretty cool. Had a stage that was decent and a sound system that wasn't bad. The guy running sound was the old hippie that I was telling you about that had done a lot of drugs. Okay. And when he would, when it would be like time for one more song in your set before set changeover, instead of just standing behind the soundboard and putting a finger up and saying one more or some kind of sign like that, he would put a stuffed animal on his shoulders and dance in front of the stage. That was the sign for one more song. That's not even the best.
Subtle.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to the best part yet. The best part is on the wall in this big room where we performed. There were 2 huge huge paintings, and one of them was, I think it was like a bald person figure. I don't know if it was male or female, holding a human heart with a bite out of it and like blood dripping down their arms. The other painting was a female straddling on top of a male, like sexually, and had her arms dug into his rib cage, like stomach area, up to almost the elbows, like digging in to find his organs. Yes, exactly.
That's
so all of that.
Super
and we were
happy Funland.
one of 3 acts, and we got to split the door 3 ways, 2/3 of which being my family that each paid like $7 or $8 to get in. Yeah. So as soon as we were done, I was like, "Get your shit.
Yeah,
we're leaving immediately." And I had to apologize to my family for months and months. But that's my reference point. I can now, no matter what gig I'm playing, I'm like, well,
it's not a woman straddling a man,
right? Digging for his liver or whatever. But I always tell people, anytime I've been to Texas, I don't know how many times since then, and I've asked people, "You ever heard of Super Happy Funland?" Nope, nobody's ever heard of it. I don't even know if it. I think it really happened. I'm pretty sure that really happened. But I tell everybody, if you ever get a chance to go to Super Happy Funland, run away, opposite direction. I feel like we should play some instruments. Y'all want to jam on some stuff?
Sure.
Anything else you want to talk about? No oil paintings. Check them out. Website, what is it? Is it just
nooilpaintings.com or Spotify.
Easy enough. Facebook. Yeah. All over the things. And I'll put links on the show notes page and everything. And Chris Wilson and the Falafels.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Heresy? Right?
No, Heresy. Heresy.
Yeah. Hearsay.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was at first. Yeah.
I still think it's that.
And you were both wrong.
Nah, check them both out. Anything else you want to tell the folks? You know?
Oh God. I'm sure. I'm sure my manager's thinking.
We'll end on this. Sean, if you had to give some advice either to yourself at 20 or to another young person that wants to get into music, what would you tell them? Other than run away.
Yeah, if that's not an option.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know. Play the banjo.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's a novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get hired. Back home anyway.
Yeah.
If I was a guitar player, I would not be hired. I would not be playing music.
That's a valid point.
But yeah, I don't know. Without being cheesy, I don't know what to say.
You can be cheesy. What about you, Chris? Anything? It can be legitimate advice or,
Yeah.
or sarcastic.
I don't know that I'm a good advice guy, but I mean, I think it's worth it. I mean, I feel like I'm,
we all clearly have it all figured out. I mean,
Right.
people should definitely be listening to us because we're sitting here, giving them advice.
being the complete success that I am. I feel like I really am in the position to
Or what do
give
you
a lot
wish
of-
somebody would have told you when you got started? Is there anything that pops off like that?
Truth be told, I think that like work ethic is an important piece of it that I didn't. I think I had this overly romantic view of this rock and roll lifestyle thing where you just kind of, you just do it, and actually sometimes the messier the better, or the less professional was lame. To be unprofessional was cool, and that you could just kind of phone it in and like at the end of the day, I just not only it's what I've learned personally, but so many of my peers that are doing very well that I've seen people go up. It's because they can embrace the business side of it. I mean, I think that if you just go into it with that naive approach, I think there was a time in our history where you were just good and somebody did maybe find you and discover you, and they said, we're going to take all of this off your plate and we're going to do it all for you. You just get up there and sing, buddy. I don't know that exists anymore, or even then that it was a regular occurrence.
Probably romanticized.
And so I think that the people that I'm seeing, that I'm looking up to, not on a massive arena filling level, but even just peers that are just doing it and making a living, they're supporting themselves or their families doing this thing, are the people that are just every day waking up, treating it as a job, recognizing it's a profession, and it is. I do actually think it's a viable thing. That's the other side of that coin. Is a lot of people grew up thinking that to play music is just a pipe dream, or maybe told that by family and stuff that's just something for the few. I think it's very doable, but it requires work. And
I just thought of my advice. Be prepared to suck some metaphorical penises.
Wow.
That is good. Put that on a bumper sticker. Damn, I don't want to say anything else. That was great on both ends.
I'm so thankful you said metaphorical.
Well, fellas, thanks for talking. This was cool.
Thanks for having us, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
So I can left to wonder to make it on my own. All I was left to ramble, where I was left to roam. I was left to wonder, make it on my own. All I was left to ramble, where I was left to roam. And I was left to wonder to make it on my own. All I was left to ramble, I was left to roam. And I was left to wonder to make it on my own.
A boom, 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 boom. And there it was. Thanks for listening, friends. If this was your first episode, then welcome. Now we are friends. Go check out don'tstifleme.com/063 for show notes on this episode. There'll be a few videos and pictures up there, along with links to Chris's stuff and no oil painting stuff as well, social media links and websites and all that good stuff. If you enjoyed this talk, please subscribe on whatever app or device that you listen on which you listen. Also share with anyone that you think might be interested in this podcast. If you're an overachiever, you could go into the Apple Podcast app and leave a rating and a review. That would be awesome. If you are planning to buy something on Amazon, before you do so, please jump over to don'tstifleme.com, and then on the homepage there's an Amazon banner. You can click that. It'll redirect you back to Amazon, and everything will be the same for you. Same price and everything, but it sends a small commission back to me for sending you there. So it's a win-win for both of us. You could also go to patreon.com/DSM podcast, where for as little as $1, $3, or $5 a month, you can get some behind-the-scenes pictures and videos and MP3 downloads and some other random things that I'll post up there from time to time. And there's other perks and stuff there. Just go check it out. At least go look at it and see what you think. If you got some great idea of something I could put up there, shoot me an email or a Facebook message or an Instagram something or other. But yeah, every little bit and all of that, any of those things helps keep the ship sailing forward. So once again, if you want to check either of those out, it's patreon.com/DSM podcast, or jump over to don'tstifleme.com and then click the Amazon shopping link if you're going to go get something off Amazon. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast social medias are all at DSM Podcast. Mine are all at Jacob Stiefel. Follow along, share, comment, like, shoot me a message and say, hey, whatever makes you happy. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon.
I think we nailed it. Beautiful. That was everything I thought it would be.
people say you're no good, but I wouldn't cut you loose, baby, if I could.